what's going on? Thanks a lot for joining me here on the producer review tutorials. Gonna do a quick mix here. It's nothing too in depth. My philosophy when mixing beats, definitely for an unfinished track or doesn't have vocals, is really just to kind of get it leveled out. Just try to make sure there aren't any real problems with it. I'm not really trying to take it to a master phase at this point because so many different decisions happen during the engineering phase as far as like engineering the vocals and then mix down, that I don't feel like I should make those types of decisions right away um, in the production phase. I don't want to make too many decisions that the engineer who's actually end up going to mix the track has to figure out how to undo, or maybe kind of gets his hands tied so that he's not able to change things that he actually wants to change. So I don't do a whole lot. I do some EQ, and then really it's just about leveling it, getting it to feel right, just getting things to kind of sit where they are enough so that the artist can write to the track. And so it doesn't have to be perfect. And I see a lot of that online, and I don't know really where that comes from, where producers feel like they have to master their track. It makes no sense to me because you're missing the main instrument, which is the vocals. So especially for hip hop and rap, normally the vocals are kind of the thing that's going to sit on top, and it's going to be extremely important. So you're missing all of that. So making decisions about the track really should be about the formulation of the track itself, but not trying to level it to the point where it's going to be commercially ready, because you're still lacking ingredients. So I'm going to get off of that soapbox and just kind of head on into this right now. Everything is pretty much labeled here. I think I have everything where I want to be at. Those are my MIDI tracks kind of right there. Over here that are muted out. Over here are going to be my audio tracks. I have my kick soloed, so I'm just going to start really quickly. I don't want to take a huge amount of time to do this. If we go through this pretty quick, then maybe I'll do some arranging really quick at the end as well. But let's get started and let's just see. Hopefully you guys can hear that pretty well. I've got it down just so that you can hear my voice on top of it as well. Just the volume's down a little bit. But normally on the kick, I have two kicks kind of going on in this track, layered on top of each other. So one of them I see is in the red here. I really don't like to mix in the red, so I'm going to go ahead and get that turned down. But I typically will turn all of this down, get us to around maybe 10 dBs or so. Let me stick on this one. Okay, that's that one. And then we're at 8.4 there. So let's go ahead and play it again here. I get a few dropouts in this particular system. I don't know what's really going on with that, but I get a lot of dropouts. Probably just need to up the buffer a little bit. A lot of times that's what's needed. So don't be disturbed if you see that. I'm working on a laptop that, like a $250 laptop I bought from Walmart some years ago. So it's not really a big system or anything like that. It's just something for me to work on at home and until I actually build a studio out here in Rio. So let's see. So I want to get an idea of what I really want this to sound like, this kick. Let's see, where are we here? Let's see. Turn my master volume up a little bit so I can hear what's going on. There we go. Okay, that one's a little thinner, so I kind of want that one to sit. I want the thicker one to maybe to sit on top a little bit. I don't really mess with the faders a lot. What I'll mess with is the gains. And just kind of get it into a mix where I like it. One thing that I do like to throw on is a meter, just to get an idea where the track sits. Helps a little bit for the bass and the kick to kind of work together. It's kind of a technique I actually learned online, and it's just something that's kind of been a help to me. See, they're hitting a little strong there. I like them down quite a bit lower. So I'm going to turn those down. I'm going to gain them down a bit. If I have to go into the meter or into the fader, I will do that as well. But I like to hit them around -3 or so. That's not bad because it's kind of peaking around 0, but it's not always staying right around 0. So we can kind of come down just a little bit more on both of these. Yeah, now it's peaking at about -1 or so, but you notice that it's hit right around that -3 area. So that's not so bad for me. I might actually, normally I end up turning it down quite a bit and then at the end bringing up my kick for the energy, because I tend to drop my kicks too much in the beginning. So you'll kind of notice that. We'll see how it ends up once we add the other elements. See what happens, right? Not really mad at the kick right now. So let's go here to the snare. Like I said, I don't waste a lot of time. I just kind of move on really quickly for what I like. This is one of the snares. I know I have another snare over here somewhere too. Oh, here it is right here. I want to hear this one too. Okay, that's the main snare. It is delayed. So you can kind of hear the delay going on with that. I think it's cool. It's one of those things that I will allow to kind of stay on the track, even though it's going to be mixed later, because it's part of the element of the track, just to give it some movement. I like my snare to sit up a little bit higher than where the kick is normally in the beginning. Let's start back from the beginning here. I like the snare to sit above where the kick is at. I like my snares punchy. I like them out there in the front. Sometimes I have to turn it down because I'm known to have my snares up just a little too high sometimes too. So overall, that sounds pretty good. I'm happy with that. I'm not really mad about it. Let's go ahead and drop my hats in. I'm gonna take them all the way down, and then I'm just gonna kind of slide them up in. What I try not to do is I'm not going to try to listen for the hat. I'm listening to the kick in the snare, and then I just kind of bring up the hi-hat till it feels good, you know. This hat is delayed as well. I don't think I have another one out here anywhere. No, because all the drums are down kind of in this area. And these are just kind of just leveling adjustments right now to just get an idea where we are. Then I'm going to go ahead and throw the bass in. Let me go ahead and drop that down a lot. I'm going to drop it down a lot and then just kind of smooth it in. It's not in a bad spot right now. We'll play with that probably a little bit more too as we go. Let's go ahead and drop the drops in. Careful with the bass frequencies because they really kind of push really hard. I have to mix in headphones right now because I don't have monitors or any of all that set up right now, so I'm really mixing in my headphones right now. This is not, this is not really what you might see in a normal studio environment. So I'm just trying to get it to where I feel like it's comfortable for somebody to listen to it. we'll roll with that for right now. Let's start with these keys here a little bit. Like I say, I try to put my focus on the other instruments that are happening around what I'm tweaking or what I'm bringing up, and then just see where it feels comfortable. Now I've got a lot of these layered, I've got a lot of these keys layered, so I don't need it to be really, really loud, because the layers are going to bring up the volume on it and they're going to be stacked. And then I'm going to play with some panning, stuff like that, and find out what's happening. That's a little loud there. Once you stack that, it's a little bit loud. I'm even going to bring this down on the fader a little bit. I normally don't play with the fader a whole lot, but that just feels like it's going to be loud with the rest of what's coming in. There for now. Sometimes forget my middle mouse button rolls. It rolls and brings that fader down if we don't come up off of it there. Alright, let's go here to our next piano. This is going to be the high piano. Let's see what that sounds like. Kind of nice sitting on top though. Now that I'm bringing it down some, you can hear that other piano start to kind of pan a little bit. They gotta kind of share the space. You want to kind of hear elements of each, but sometimes you want the track not to be so not every instrument to stand out, but them to kind of work together where a person can be listening and they're kind of hearing one at some points and they're hearing the other one at other points, and that kind of gives it some movement and some variation for them. Even if it's just a 4-bar loop, you can kind of have some of that variation going on. Just kind of give some body. That's even something you can take and pan off. Let's see what it sounds like out here. Another element that's just kind of out there that maybe will shine a little bit in the verse or something like that. It's kind of cool. We can leave that where it is. Our little sci-fi bell. Maybe let's pan this on the other side and see what happens. See the panning's putting it really on the left in the meters. just gonna chop this out a little bit there because we're running not only the program, but then we're also running the recording in the background. So I think that's kind of helping us drop out a little bit. So we're going to turn this meter off a little bit. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and turn my buffer up. This is how you do that in Cakewalk. You go to your preferences, go here to your driver settings under audio, and then you can move your buffer up. It's actually kind of high for where I normally keep it anyway, but I'm going to go ahead and just turn it up and see if that helps us a little bit as far as these audio dropouts that are happening. Just to make it smoother for you guys. So let's go back here. Let's take our transport back. And then we'll see. Stuck. Okay, so let's do this. All right, great. So we really haven't EQ'd or anything like that yet. We're just really kind of setting levels. Something that I will do, I'll go through, and normally I'll start taking out some of the levels. I like the Pro channel here in Cakewalk. Small things like you can set it for like a shelf, and then you can actually turn down certain frequencies, things like that, or you can target certain frequencies or whatever you want to do here. It's cool because up top you've got a compressor up top that you can run, and you can add to this module too. There are other things that you can add to it. Let's see here. Let's see if we can. You can insert a module here, and then they've got all types of things. Like they've got a reverb, they've got another console emulator, a couple of those. They've got a bunch of things. You can put the soft saturation knob on there is something that I've got, a plugin that I've got. There's a bunch of things that you can do there. So you can insert some different modules, and they're kind of cool too. And depending on what your preferred effects are. But this is cool. I definitely like the Pro channel and the way that Cakewalk has that set up, and you have that on each and every channel, including the master as well. So if you're getting some balancing issues or things like that in the track, you can actually go through and balance it out a little bit. So I'm still going to push this buffer up a little bit. This, I wouldn't normally keep it up here because definitely, especially if you're going to record vocals or something, you don't want it that high. But for now, just mixing or whatever, just, for you guys, I would normally just kind of put up with it, the dropouts and things. But for you guys watching the video, I don't want you having to deal with that so much. So I'll just let it kind of go out a little bit higher. Snare off. here in the knobs and just change the frequency, or I can go down in the high pass and change it there. So in the high pass frequency here, cut that for a second. I'm going to turn on the high pass, and then you can see you can change the knob here, and this changed the frequency. So I don't want to take it all out at the bottom, but I'm going to take some of it out just so it's not muddy. I'm going to do the same with this one here. Do want to take some of it out of there just to cut it just a little bit. Let's hear it now. I don't want the snare to be too bright anyway, so I think it's pretty cool where we are. I'm just going to take a quick listen and just see. Listening for all the elements, just thinking about the parts that we've added to the track, and just kind of getting an idea of what the composition is and what the chemistry is like between the parts. Definitely going to have to come up and give it some energy, and probably the hats match the snare a little bit more. Alright, we're going to let this just play out to the end. I think it's stuck on me here, so I'll try to shut it down. Okay, so we had a little bit of technical difficulty. I had to start all over again. Well, not all over again, but I had to kind of like splice it a little bit on the video, just because when it gets the processing power on this computer just so slow. But then I did turn down the hi-hats, the delay bus on the hi-hats, and the delay bus on the snare a little bit. I was moving that up I think just a tad bit too much, and it was getting a little bit out of hand. So I think we're in a good place. I added the Ozone 8 elements as well on the end. Typically that's what I will do at the end of the track to kind of give it some power, some oomph. I will drop I dropped the gain down on the master about 8 decibels as well. And then we add the ozone. You'll see that it makes a big difference with that. Look at our meters. Our meters aren't clipping, but we've got a decent sound. So I'll bring this up just a little bit. So maybe Okay, so you guys got an idea of what my mix process is like. Um, Typically, I'm not running the screen recorder behind it, so it actually functions a little bit better. But with running both of them, it's just not cooperating so much. So I hope you enjoyed what you saw. Hopefully, maybe you learned a little bit about my process and you find some things maybe that you can do in your process. Hopefully, over time, as the system gets better and as I put some money into some other things, we'll get to a better system where we can do a lot more tutorials and a lot more quality tutorials for you guys, so that you can get an idea what my process is and figure out how you want to incorporate some of those things in your process. Okay. Well, thanks a lot for hanging out with me for this tutorial. I'm just kind of learning the ropes here. That's only really like the second one that I'm really attempting. So I hope that you guys kind of enjoyed it. It's always fun for me. I love recording. So tune in to the shows, the producer review podcast as well. Looks like we have about 4 producers that I've been in contact with in the last probably 24 hours or so that have agreed to go ahead and do some interviewing with me. So we should have some new shows coming out for that. If you haven't seen the old shows, definitely check it out. You can check it out through Spotify. You can check it out through Google Podcasts. You can actually get it on Anchor FM as well. There's a number of places where it is, where I've uploaded it or where I've actually connected the RSS feed. So hopefully you get to enjoy that. And I also post them on the Instagram too. So if you watch on the IGTV for producer review or for my ILI music group channel, you should be able to see most of the recordings there as well. So there's a plethora of places where you can get the show. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.